There's a balancing act when it comes to a new game from a developer with a short track record, but at least one game that is an absolute gem, where you're thinking, am I excited for this upcoming game because of the game, or because I'm still in love with their previous game? Thankfully, Alabaster Dawn has me excited completely on its own merits, which I was able to confirm with its demo, and I'm very much looking forward to it coming out in early access very soon. Alabaster Dawn is an action RPG developed and published by Radical Fish Games, the team behind the incredible Crosscode. The game was originally revealed under the name Project Terra and has been in development for several years, coinciding with the Crosscode DLC releasing and then several years since. As a small team that also takes their time, it is unsurprising that the development has taken time. And as you may have clocked before, the game is still not done. Alabaster Dawn, like Crosscode before it, will be released in early access, and the developers reckon that the game will take at least 2 years to finish from early access. I know that is quite a way to wait for the full release, and in similar cases I have held off on making videos on games until they are fully released or about to be fully released. Here is why I have made an exception, and why I have confidence in Alabaster Dawn and Radical Fish Games. The developer has already successfully done the early access model into a full release game that took multiple years to complete. Crosscode is the blueprint, and while Alabaster Dawn is a different project with that experience and planning, I am not concerned about Alabaster Dawn getting stuck in a perpetual unfinished state. The second reason that I have confidence is because of the demo that has been released. This is a game that already has so much polish and content that I can foresee myself having a great time playing through the opening 10 hours or so of the game that are planned for the initial early access release. The developers also said that the game will have a side roguelike game to help keep players engaged while waiting for full release, which I'm intrigued to see in action. If you have not checked out the demo already, I highly recommend it, especially since that will stick around even once early access commences. Alabaster Dawn is scheduled to release for early access on May 7th, 2026 on Steam. No word as to if it will come to other platforms, but I'm sure we'll find out more as development continues. In Alabaster Dawn, you play as Juno, who has awoken in a very changed world from when she began to slumber. The shadow of Nyx has fallen. The gods aren't picking up the phone, and the world has been transformed into a wasteland. It is Juno and her spirit capybara/water pig Cabbage's job to bring it all back. Granted, that wasn't exactly the first choice, given that Juno is the outcast chosen and was supposed to be one of a group to fight back against Nyx, but things have not gone to plan. I like the premise of the game and what we have seen from Juno thus far. She has a lot going on in the early part of the game that we've seen so far, and the game has teased plenty of background secrets regarding her. That, coupled with the lore of the story regarding the gods, has me looking forward to how the story develops. The setting is very different from Crosscode, which will certainly pose new writing challenges for the team. Alabaster Dawn takes a more fantastical setting than Crosscode's sci-fi game within a game design, and I think that could lead to world building being an even more important aspect of Alabaster Dawn, since they can't fall back on the real world for elements. Despite the differences though, I think it is clear that they are not abandoning everything that worked for Crosscode. The demo showed off overhearing the conversations of NPCs as you are walking around, just like in Crosscode, which offers more depth and insight into how characters are feeling and reacting to everything. This is included in the character models, both their animation and the art of their expressions that come on with the dialogue. Some of the funniest writing comes from the NPC moments and the various expressions and animations, so I'm glad to see all of that return. On to the gameplay, I'm going to divide it into two sections, those being the action combat and the puzzles. That's not to say that there aren't moments when the systems connect and interact, but it is easier to take it one at a time. Early on, Juno receives a celestial weapon, specifically a sword. That is the first of 8 weapons she will get over the course of the game, 4 melee and 4 ranged. Based on the 4 weapons you can use in the demo, sword, hammer, bow, and chakram, I can tell that the different weapons will be crucial to beating back your challengers. The sword is faster than the hammer, but the hammer hits harder. They are mainly self-explanatory like that, but I enjoyed the way that the weapons were implemented and had different roles in and out of combat. They are also very easy to switch between during combat, which keeps the pace quick. Beyond regular attacks, Juno also has dodge and parry abilities. The dodges simply avoid damage, which is great, but a well-timed parry can lead to a follow-up opportunity, so sometimes it's good to take the risk in order to reap the reward. Juno also has healing bulbs for when that risk you took doesn't pay off. Juno can charge up attacks, use special abilities, and boost, which I'm looking forward to using more in the full game as the demo only really had time to briefly introduce the mechanics before it was over. Now, the progression system uses the skill tree model where you invest points to get new abilities and upgrades for your stats. This applies to Juno generally and each of the weapons as you use them more and more, so make sure to explore all angles to improve your capabilities. You can also equip gems that have powerful enchantments on them to build your strength. Finally, another thing briefly previewed in the demo but not in depth are the elements. There are 4 elements in the game that, if they work anything like the elements in Crosscode, will give new effects to your attacks and abilities. Certain enemies are weaker against certain elements, and you can equip certain weapons to be part of certain elements. We know the first element is Aether, which takes on a form similar to electricity in at least the puzzles that we've seen so far. Alabaster Dawn, like Crosscode, has plenty of puzzles. There are the ones found in the regular environment, usually blocking progression or hiding goodies. The bigger ones, though, are found in the dungeons. Juno will work with her abilities, as well as with any allies accompanying her to solve the many puzzles. I thought the demo puzzles were very well tuned to the beginning of the game, with chances to get harder, but still plenty of good details to help you figure out the solution. I was definitely intrigued by the addition of a second person and the abilities that come from that, increasing the creativity of the puzzles. I do hope the game doesn't go overboard with the puzzles though. At a certain point, you do get puzzle exhaustion when your brain needs a rest. However, if it is well balanced, there's nothing like that rush of getting everything just right and finding your way forward. Beyond the puzzle dungeons and the combat encounters, there is treasure to find around the map as well as ingredients to find to cook with. Both of those are fun diversions, but the biggest side content I am excited to see in action is rebuilding the settlements of the land. Due to the wasteland initial setting, I think it is thematically appropriate for Juno to spend time building up the communities that she is saving. We see glimpses of this in the demo in the starting area, and I see it in a similar light to the community/development mechanics in Xenoblade. The more we invest in doing quests and helping out in the area, the more the settlements will recover and grow, and hopefully the better the rewards will be. I'm not sure how extensive the system will be, but I'm excited to find out. Now, one thing that I have already been impressed by with the game is the presentation. I was reading about the developers using 3D models with a 2D game in order to create more dynamic animation and movement, and I'm not sure if what I described is actually how they are doing it, but however they are doing it, please continue. The characters are incredibly dynamic in motion, which strongly benefits the story that the developers wish to tell because it gives them more expressive body language. The world itself is packed with details and does a great job of layering it into the world. They've even improved the visual style to help distinguish between terrain height, which was a struggle in Crosscode. There are some scenes that are gorgeously animated, and the camera is deliberately placed and then moved to highlight just how amazing the backgrounds are. Alabaster Dawn is a visual treat, and that's not even getting into the lovely character designs. The music has been good from what I've heard, not much more I can say until I hear more. The game's UI and UX does a good job of staying unobtrusive until it is really needed. I don't know if this stood out for anyone else too, but the text boxes feel appropriate for this game. I'm sure someone smarter in UI design could explain it to me if they wanted. The game's map has options to put markers in for treasure chests and other secrets for you to come back to, which is made easy by the game's fast travel system. There's plenty to gawk at and play with already in Alabaster Dawn, and that's just in the first area. I'm hoping the subsequent locations are just as fun and distinct to be in and around. While my initial excitement could be entirely attributed to my positive feelings for Crosscode, Alabaster Dawn has so much going for it as its own game. The fantasy setting is intriguing, Juno and Cabbage seem like a fun pair to spend time with, the art is absolutely gorgeous, and the gameplay a smooth blend of action RPG and puzzle game. If any of this sounds or looks appealing, the great news is you have a demo to sink a couple hours into to see if it does in fact click. And if that does work for you, then early access begins soon for Alabaster Dawn, plus that roguelike side game that still has me curious. What do you think about Alabaster Dawn so far? Let me know in the comments, leave this video a like to support me and the channel, and subscribe for more videos including more Alabaster Dawn hopefully in the future. Have a great day, and happy gaming.